What's up, good people? What's up, good people? It's your boy, Dr. Leroy McKenzie Jr., the Impact Builder. It's another day. It's Tell the Truth, Talk to Me Tuesday. Y'all know what it is. We're going to talk to you, but we're going to tell the truth on Tuesday, and today is no different. This week, as we go into Black History Month, tomorrow begins the first day of Black History Month. Now, y'all know me. If you know me, you know Black History is 365. It's not just the month of February, but what I'm going to be doing over the next 28 days, and I've actually started yesterday, so it's longer than that, is I've been focusing on 5 steps to building your business ecosystem, and we're using the model of the Black Wall Street in order to be able to have this discussion. Yesterday we talked about your vision, what the vision that you need to have, the mindset and mastery going into building your business ecosystem. So today we're going to talk about creativity, and I you see that the entrepreneur kit that you can actually this is part of the creativity that I'm going to be talking about. Having this entrepreneur kit is actually, I believe, very vital to you being able to accomplish what it is that you want to accomplish in building your business ecosystem. And today, like I said, we're looking at Black Wall Street, and I'm gonna read you all this, and I'm gonna have the picture to go along with this later. It'll be it's actually on the on the what do you call it, well, it's on the picture that I have that goes up with my video. But here's what Black Wall Street was comprised of. It was comprised of 600 businesses total. It had 21 churches, 21 restaurants, 30 grocery stores, 2 movie theaters, 6 private airplanes. I said 2 movie theaters, a hospital, a bank, a post office, schools, a school system. It had libraries, it had law office, and it had a bus system. That's what Black Wall Street was. Now, can you imagine? And this was in the early 1900s, when Black Wall Street was formulated, when it was when it was at its peak. 600 businesses, y'all. 600 businesses. And I was thinking about this. Can you think about... Morning, Doc. Congratulations again. Definitely congratulations again on getting your doctorate. That is truly awesome. Congratulations on that. I know you just absolutely phenomenal. I love that for you. Love that for you. Love that for you. What we're talking about today is, I'm talking about, of course, building your business ecosystem. Black Wall Street, and today we're talking about creativity. Black Wall Street had 600 businesses, early 1900s. And this is how creative they were. You see the diversity in the businesses that they had. And not just that, the diversity in the businesses, but the creativity and how they used their creativity to do business within each other, for each other. And that's what it's going to take. But can you imagine? They had back then 600 businesses. They had schools, they had libraries, they had law offices, they had private planes, a school system, a bus system, a bank. And here's the thing. I started to think about how many businesses, black-owned businesses, are there today in totality. More than 600, right? More than 600. Now, can you imagine how they were able to build their ecosystem without technology, without the advanced use of phones, without the advancement of a lot of stuff that we have privy to today? But yet, they were able to do so much more. And I would even gander to say what they had back then with less. And I've said this before. I remember having a conversation with my mother about her generation. This was my grandmother's generation. You're talking early 1900, 1921 was when, early 1900s and 1921 was when it was actually burned down. Black Wall Street was burned down in 1921. So you can imagine. It didn't just grow in 1921. So it took years to build 600 businesses. It took years to do what it is that they did. And you had to be creative and business savvy in everything that they did. 600 businesses, y'all. 21 churches, 21 restaurants, 30 grocery stores, 2 movie theaters, 6 private airplanes, hospital, bank, post office, schools, libraries, law offices, and a bus system. That's what they had. How many schools do we have? How many black-owned charter schools are there? How many library? I don't know how many libraries that we have. How many black-owned law offices do we have? We don't have a bus system, but I promise you there are black-owned transportation systems that we have. Black-owned transportation companies. Theaters. I was looking at that. 2 movie theaters. Magic Johnson has, I think he still has his Magic Johnson theaters. He has an X amount of numbers just by himself. I know of a couple of black-owned movie theaters here myself. And what I didn't see was, and I know we have them because, and it didn't mention it there, but black-owned hotels. I know there was one there in the Black Wall Street, because I think one of the founders of Black Wall Street owned a hotel, so I know that there was a hotel there. So hotel has to be included in that. But how many black-owned hotels are there today? So as you can see, they had less and did more than today, where we have more and we do less. Where's our creativity, y'all? If we're going to be serious about creating this business ecosystem, and there are a number of directories that are out here that are in use. I've used them and everything. We have to understand how to go about creatively building each other and building each other within this business ecosystem. So what do you mean? Well, creatively, we can say, okay, I know that this particular industry is, it may be underrepresented. Let's take solar paneling. I'll say that. We don't have I want to think of, I want to use a industry a STEM industry. I'll use that, the STEM industry. How many black-owned STEM businesses are there? And how can we take the STEM industry and begin to find out what businesses are in the STEM industry, build them up, and create a pipeline to the STEM industry. Same thing with the hospitality industry, where we create more hotels, black-owned hotels, where we create more construction companies, developers, where we are doing business more with each other. And I had this conversation yesterday, where in order to be able to have a strong business ecosystem, you have to be intentional about doing business with each other. That means partnerships. That means collaborations. That means picking up the phone, sending emails to each other, referring one another. Oh, I know someone that does this. I know someone that does that. this person will be good for you to talk to. Let's do, let's do business together. This morning, I was having a conversation with a business associate of mine about, uh, doing some work together, because this year, as I've told you all, I'm about creating value. How do we create How do I create value in my brand? But then how do I create value in my clients' brands? And then how do I create value in my community? One of the most creative ways and best ways that we create value in our community is doing business with each other. But we've got to find creative ways to do business with each other. Like one of my friends said, we're so afraid of competing with each other that if you have two people or three people that are in the same industry, they don't want to do business with each other because they feel like they're competing against each other. We've got to get out of this mindset that we're competitors. Your only competition is staring you in the mirror. And understand that even if you are in the same industry, you're not going to do it the same. You're not going to do, if you and I are in the same industry, we're not going to do it exactly the same, because your way that you look at it is not going to be the way that I look at it. I'm going to be creatively different than you. You're going to be creatively different than me. And we've got to understand that. So we've got to find creative ways to be in business with each other. We've got to be creative in our building of our business ecosystem. That's what Black Wall Street did. They were so creative in how they did business with each other and supported each other within each other, from the hotels to the churches to the restaurants to the school system to the bus system to the transportation system to the private planes. All of that cycled within itself creatively. And as they began to do that, they got stronger. They got stronger. And that's why it's called Black Wall Street. It didn't start off with that name, Black Wall Street. It became Black Wall Street because of the creativity of the minds that built the businesses, the 600 businesses that were within that area, and the area that it was in, down in Tulsa, and I'm gonna have to bring this up too. There were other Black Wall Streets too, because there's one in Durham as well too. So I'm gonna have a little bit of information. I'm gonna have to look that up to talk about it. My man Donnie Glover has a book called "I Am Black Wall Street," and it gives you the journey before Black Wall Street becomes Black Wall Street, and it gives you the foundation of where it came from. So if you definitely want to pick up that book, I Am Black Wall Street, Donnie Glover. It's a phenomenal book. I promise you, it will give you part of what I'm talking about today. What we're going to talk about the rest of this week with resilience, patience, and planning. But today, the creativity aspect of it is we have to be able to, in 2023, be creative in how you do business. Be creative in building your business ecosystem. Folks that you might not readily think that you should be in business with, find ways or think of ways that you can partner with them, collaborate with them, and expand your network. That's what this is all about. Those 600 businesses didn't just come about just to come about. It took vision. It took creativity. It took patience. It took planning, and it took resilience. And that's what we're talking about all this week. So, what's the creativity part of you that you need to tap into today? I told you we tell the truth Tuesday. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna tell it Tuesday. So, what's the creativity part? And how you, and in this 21st century, can create that business ecosystem. 600 businesses, 21 churches, 21 restaurants, 2 movie theaters, two private planes, hospital. I forgot the hospitals, hotels, an educational system, business system, and that's what happens when we do that. The directories, we have so much more access today than they did back then, but yet we're nowhere near as strong as Black Wall Street was. That's why Black Wall Street is Black Wall Street. They became so economically strong that it was deemed to be like as powerful as Wall Street. In that area down there in Tulsa, Oklahoma, it was doing the same. Had the same amount of financial power as Wall Street in New York. That's how powerful it was. That's how powerful a business ecosystem can be. But you've got to be, you've got to have the vision. You've got to have the mindset. You've got to have the creativity in order to be able to do it. There's certainly ways that we can build our business ecosystems today far better, stronger than Black Wall Street has. But have we done it? That's the question. Have we done it? And I would gander to say we're not there. What we have today as a business ecosystem is nowhere near what Black Wall Street was. We haven't even come close to being back to that. But imagine if we were to take the list of the types of businesses that were in Black Wall Street, and we were in our own system. We created this business economic system. How powerful that, how much more powerful that would be. I'm going to leave y'all with that. I'm going to let y'all think about that for the rest of this week, because we have got to do better. You can't build this business ecosystem by just talking about it. You've got to have vision. You've got to have creativity. And tomorrow we're going to talk about having, well, not tomorrow. We'll talk about having patience tomorrow and building it. But then we're going to talk about the planning. Because it's there. The template is there. The only question is do we really want to build a business ecosystem that is, the equivalent or stronger than? And there's no reason why it can't be stronger than. And that's the thing. We should be able to build something because of what they built. They made it possible for us to be able to be better. They made it better for the next generation. And the next generation, like I said, that's my grandmother's generation. She was born in 1919, I believe it was. 2 years before Black Wall Street was burnt down. So she was a baby. And after that, they tried to rebuild it, but it never came to fruition. But why haven't we? Because, like I said, we have more access, we have more technology, we have more resources. I did the 12 forms of capital, and they had those same forms of capital back then as well. But they didn't have the technology, which we have access to now because of the innovativeness, the creativity. But are we using it to create this business ecosystem? I'm gonna leave y'all with that. I'm done. I'm done talking about it because I'm starting to get upset about it because I'm thinking about 600 businesses. I'm gonna leave y'all with that. 600 businesses, y'all. 600 businesses, 21 churches, 21 restaurants, 30 grocery stores, 2 movie theaters, 6 private airplanes, hospital, bank, post office, schools, libraries, law offices, bus system, and hotels. Where y'all at? We are represented in every single one of those industries that I just named. And the question is, have we built our business ecosystem so that all of those industries are connected within us? I'm going to leave y'all with that. My man Mike, what's up? Yeah, what is the specific element that is missing to be significantly impactful like Black Wall Street? Mike, I believe what's missing, part of it is what I talked about today, the creativity, and the first part that I talked about yesterday, which was the mindset, vision and mindset. They had a mind to build 600 businesses. They had a mind to create 21 churches. They had a mind to create 21 restaurants. They had a mind to have 6 airplanes. They had a mind to have a school system. They had a mind to have banks. They had a mind to do business with each other. And then I think the other part of that, Michael, is also I think planning, which I'm going to talk about not tomorrow but Thursday. Planning. You know, what's the plan? Black Wall Street, they did have a plan because you see what they created and you see how strong it was and what it became. But then when it was burned down, they didn't use the template that they had, the plan that they had that got them to where they were. They weren't able to replicate that plan. We have to take a strong look at that template. And we have to be willing to sacrifice. We've got to be patient, which I'm going to talk about tomorrow, patience, because it can't be built overnight. It's not going to be built overnight. And it takes time to be able to build that. That Black Wall Street took years to build. But they had the patience, they had the mindset, they had the willingness and the perseverance and the resilience, which is the last thing that I'm going to talk about. They had the resilience to do that. In this day, in this 21st century, we have this, I call it a microwave cotton candy mindset, where we just want to be able to put something in the microwave, put it in there for 2 minutes, and it's done. Building a business ecosystem, you can't microwave it. And I'll say it like that, you can't microwave it. It can't, it's not going to be easy. And one of the things that I've learned from the civil rights era, from Black Wall Street, is they were willing to pay the cost of what it was going to do to build it. They were willing to pay the cost for our civil rights, the ones that we have privy to nowadays, they were willing to sacrifice, pay the cost of of enduring so that we could have. And I was listening to one of the books that I'm listening to today. It's called No Excuses by what's his name? Tracy. I forgot his name. Brian Tracy, I believe it is. But he was in the book. He mentioned, in order to be successful, you have to decide what you want in life. You have to decide how much it will cost. And then here's the third thing. Are you willing to pay that price? So we've got to decide if we want a business ecosystem. We've got to decide how much it's going to cost. And then those of us that are willing to build it, willing to have one, build one, are you willing to pay that price to build it? That's what I see. That's my take on that. So I hope that answers your question. Okay, willing to sacrifice and pay the cost. Having a template for building and maintaining. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because those are the elements of when you have, if you look at any successful business, if you look at any successful community, if you look at any successful entity, I promise you, they have those elements to them. They have a mindset, they have creativity, they have planning, they have a willingness to sacrifice, pay the cost, and they have their business model, so to speak. Black Wall Street, each of those businesses had a business model, but the totality of Black Wall Street is a business model. It's a business model. It's a business ecosystem model. What's the model? Look at that model. And you take that model and you say, okay, how can this is the model, but we can actually enhance it and make it better because we have access to more. And that's what we're not doing when it comes to the building these business ecosystems. And I'm gonna keep shouting about building a business ecosystem because it's one of the best ways for us to be able to create a stronger community, to be able to create, like I said, going into Black History Month, going into creating what it is that we say that we want. Black Wall Street was its own banking system. It didn't have to go outside of Black Wall Street to get money. I'm saying. And we have to have that same mentality. We have to have that same ideology, that same vision. And I've said this before, nobody's coming to save us. Nobody but us. So we have to decide what we want. Do we want a business ecosystem? How much is it going to cost? And that's not just a financial perspective. That's just physically, mentally, emotionally, psychologically, spiritually. How much is it going to cost? Your time, your relationships. It's going to cost all that. It's going to cost these things that we just talked. It's going to cost your mindset. It's going to cost your creativity. It's going to cost your planning. It's going to cost your willingness to sacrifice. And then the third part of that is, are you willing to pay that price? Are you willing to pay that cost? And I would say use the comparison of the civil rights movement and Dr. King. Dr. King wanted us to have our freedom. He wanted us to be able to vote. And those that believed in his vision, I'm going to call it more than a dream, it's a vision, because he implemented it. There were those that believed in it, knew how much it was going to cost. He knew He knew that it was bigger than him and it was going to cost him. And it cost him his life. And he was willing to pay that price. There were others that were willing to pay that price. Can we say the same? Are we willing to pay that price? And I would gander to say there are many of us that aren't willing to pay that price. So, today, told y'all, it's Tell the Truth Tuesday. We're going to talk about it. This is what I want you to take today. Think about. What is that you want in your business? Building this business ecosystem. What is it that you want? How much is it going to cost you? And then, are you willing to pay that price? Are you willing to pay what it's going to cost you? So, it's your boy, Dr. Leroy McKenzie Jr., the Impact Builder. I'm serious this week, y'all. Tomorrow begins Black History, but y'all know 365 days a week, 365 days is Black History to me. So, want y'all to have a great day. Think about those things that I just talked about, and we'll talk to y'all tomorrow. Have an awesome, awesome, awesome day. Talk to y'all soon. Build that business ecosystem. Call somebody, talk to somebody today, and reach out to them to start and begin to build your business ecosystem. Talk to y'all soon.